In this tutorial, we're going to create some chrome metal text effect. So first of all, you'll need a new blank canvas. So go to File, New, and make it whatever size you want for whatever you're using it for. I'm going to do 1000 width and then 500 height. I'm going to set it at background color. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a background color in there, and I'm just going to choose black for my color swatch and then add it to the background. You can of course use whatever color you like. And then I'm going to select my text tool, and I'm going to change the color to a dark gray color. And you don't need to get it exactly right here. Just make sure that it's a nice deep gray color. And then you can choose whatever text you want, whatever size you want. And then you may need to move it if necessary on your canvas. Okay, so we have our background now, and we have our text. Now it's time that we start applying different effects to get our chrome metal look. So first of all, we're going to go over to the Layers palette and double click on the text layer to open up the Layer Style dialog box. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a color overlay. And we are going to actually change it to a white color, and we're going to change the opacity to about 10%, and this is just going to add another depth of color to our chrome effect. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add a bevel and an emboss. And we want to choose an inner bevel. We're going to have that smooth 100% depth. It's going to be up direction. The size, we're going to go ahead and increase this to 13. And I'm going to leave the soften at 0. No global light for this one. I'm going to increase the altitude, just double it to 60. And then for the gloss contour, I am going to choose this one. Highlight mode, screen, white. Turn the opacity all the way up. Shadow mode, you're going to do a color burn. You're going to leave it as black, and you're going to take this down to 25%. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a drop shadow. And go ahead and set it to multiply, black. The opacity, go ahead and set it 75%. Turn off the global light again. And I'm going to shrink this distance to 3. I'm going to leave the spread at 0, and the 5 I'm going to increase to 7 for the size. The contour, go ahead and keep it on linear, or change it to linear if you need to. 0% noise. Then we're going to add a satin overlay to it, and this is going to get the real chrome look that we're looking for. So go ahead and change this to screen, and change the color to white if you need to. And set the opacity at 50%. I'm going to increase the angle to 140. Distance, we're going to change it to 5 as well as the size. And then for contour, I'm going to choose the double ring. Okay, so there's our satin overlay. So we have 2 more quick steps that we're going to do. First of all, we're going to add an inner shadow. And this is basically going to reflect the color of our background from the top of our text. Now, this is an optional step. You could definitely skip this if you want. We're going to set it at normal, and then the color you want to set to the color of your background. So the color of my background's black. If you had a red background, you would set that to red. Opacity, turn all the way up to 100%. And turn off the global light again. We're going to go ahead and change the distance to just 2 in here, And the size, we'll go ahead and set at 5. And go ahead and keep it on the linear contour with 0 noise. And our last step is to add our inner glow. And we want that to be multiply. The opacity, go ahead and change that to 55. Noise is at 0. And then go ahead and choose a black color. Okay, and then of course we want softer for the technique edge. Change the choke to 5, and the size we're going to change to 4. And then the contour for quality, go ahead and leave as linear, 50% range, 0% jitter. So let's go ahead and click OK. And then take a look, and we have a nice shiny metal chrome text effect.